Winning, I guess it's just that feeling, it's that natural high. You know, knowing that you've accomplished something and that all that hard work that you put into it, you can say that you're the one person or one team that accomplished something that other people haven't.
I think through sport, there's so many skills that can be learned, you know, goal setting and dealing with adversity, being humble in victory and gracious in defeat. When kids are developing in their adolescent years, I think sport can be a real positive channel that they can direct their energies, and believe me, they have lots of energy.
The more you practice and the more you have fun at the practices, the more I realize that I really want to be in the sport and I really want to go far in the sport.
Well, research has shown there to be many benefits to being involved in sport, especially at a young age. Physical benefits, mental, social, academic, emotional.
Sport's always been part of my life. Obviously, curling's been a big part of it, but I did do other school sports growing up. And the commitment, the hard work, the desire, all of that you do in sport, you take that over into your everyday life.
I love competing for Saskatchewan. It's a great province, and just to get the chance to do it in your own province is a lot better.
The history of the Saskatchewan Games goes back to 1972. The provincial government determined that a multi-game sport would be the best opportunity or the best mechanism in order to give our athletes and the provincial sport governing bodies an opportunity to display their talents. And the games are certainly towards a younger age class, but they're also intended to ensure that the provincial sport governing bodies have a chance to develop sport at the district level, develop officials, develop coaches.
I think these games are important for Saskatchewan because I think it's one of the few, or maybe the only time, where the whole province gets together in a celebration of sport. It is the single largest amateur sporting event that the province holds, the Saskatchewan Games, the summer games in particular.
I was actually involved in the Saskatchewan Games as a young athlete, so I remember how wonderful of an experience it was. I think it's really important for us to have these local opportunities like the Saskatchewan Games because it's probably one of the first experiences these athletes will have to be a part of a multi-sport event.
The Saskatchewan Games, because it is a multi-sport atmosphere, provides the opportunity for fans and sponsors and athletes to see what Saskatchewan sport can do for everyone. And just the fact that, you know, I think a lot of the sports take the Saskatchewan Games as that stepping stone to something bigger.
Because we're focusing on this younger age group, we're hoping that at some point these athletes become provincial team members, national team members, and in a lot of cases, Olympians or participating in other events, as we see with Lucas Mikowski and a few other athletes.
I believe I was 14 at the time. Definitely not as mature of an athlete as I am now, but at that time and at that point in an athlete's career, the Saskatchewan Winter Games is something that you definitely look up to as kind of your first games experience. And that's something that definitely carries forward to aspirations to be in the Canada Winter Games and then from there to be in the Olympic Games. It was a great experience for myself and in my career, and I was just fortunate enough to have done as well as I did.
My name is Lexi Vincent. I'm 15 and I compete in sprint kayaking as well as cross-country skiing in winter. I would love it if I could make it that far and if I could represent my country at the Olympics.
It's an opportunity to develop. It's an opportunity to be able to use the services of our coaches and develop our officials. Obviously, one of the objectives of the Games is to ensure that we leave a legacy within the community, not only from a sport perspective, but from a community perspective. So when we ask communities to bid, we want to ensure that they have the minimum requirements for the facilities that we need to operate the Games, but they also have the volunteer component, the infrastructure, and the capacity.
Every facility, when the summer games are done, will look a little better than it did before the games were here. Through the games, we've made enhancements to a lot of those facilities and created some new facilities right from scratch.
If you're gonna join the sport, you know you gotta get into it. Like, you gotta have a lot of dedication. You just gotta love the sport to be in it.
I know my parents and my brothers especially are really happy that I'm happy with my life and I'm happy with what I'm doing. I know they're really proud that I've come this far and they're proud that I love my sport so much.
To see the achievement of some of the young developing athletes and see the excitement that they go through and to see the opportunity that they have marching in at opening ceremonies or marching in for closing and receiving a medal and seeing the reaction of these young athletes and living in a village. It's just very rewarding.
Honestly, the Sask Games were a bit of a stepping stone for me in my career because it really kind of got me interested a lot more in the sport just with some of the success that I was having. Definitely probably one of the most special moments any athlete could ever dream of.